Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is JAMB Tutorials, and as you know already, this is to help you prepare for exams in the use of ancient and literature. I've received a lot of requests from you guys that I should do a video on one of the recommended tests in the new literature syllabus, and today we're talking about the government driver on his retirement. Please stay tuned to the end of this video because I'll be analyzing the poem. I'll also talk about the themes in the poem and the poetic devices in the poem. Stay tuned to the end of the video and make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can get notified each time I upload a new video. Now let's get right into the video. A government driver on his retirement. Many years on the rail, in faithful service to his fatherland, today retires home, and a celebration he holds. Many years has he pummelled his busy throat in obedience to duty rules and regulations. Today, he will go home a free man, eligible for his country's service. Come friends, rejoice with me. I shall booze and zoom myself home, away from duty rules. Come celebrate my freedom. Early to duty tomorrow holds not. 35 years of faithful service, I will booze to sleep away my sufferings. Today I've long waited for. More joy to send him home, a brand new car in his name, an appreciative symbol for undented 35 years of service to fatherland. Come friends and rejoice more, joy to know more joy to joy. Today frees and makes me a king, my patience rewarded. And so he boozed and boozed, celebrating the celebration of his retirement from faithful service to fatherland. He battled with his bottle booze on his way home on wheels. Booze boozed his vision and clear judgment. He boomed his brand new car and he sent him home. Home to rest in peace. Now let's analyze the poem. Please, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please click on the subscribe button and on the like button as well. If you have already subscribed, just click on the like button. The poem, The Government Driver on His Retirement, is a free-verse 33-line poem that talks about a man who worked with the government as a driver and went on compulsory retirement after 35 years of service. While in service, he was very disciplined. He never for once flaunted the driving rules. He stayed out of alcohol. He was always punctual to work, disciplined and dedicated. In the first stanza of the poem, the poet introduces the persona as a driver who has been on the job of driving for many years. In the first line, many years on wheels. In lines 2 and 3, he tells us that the persona worked and retired as a civil servant. And in line 4, the poet tells us that the persona is really very excited about his retirement and holds a party for it. In the second stanza, he tells us that the persona is someone who loves alcohol, but due to the regulations of his job, he had to stop. This is seen in lines 1 and 2 of the second stanza. Many years has he pummelled his busy throat in obedience to duty rules and regulations. Lines 3 and 4 buttress that the persona sees himself as a slave who just gained his freedom after 35 years and now is free for a different experience in life. This is seen in lines 2 and 4 of the second stanza. Today he will go home a free man, eligible for his country's service. Calling the persona a free man depicts that he had been in a sort of prison or been a slave for 35 years, who didn't have the freedom to do what he wanted. In stanza 3, the person invites his friends to come and party with him. He promises to drink and drive himself home, breaking the work-stifling rules of abstaining from alcohol. He again, in line 3 of this stanza, calls on his friends to come celebrate his freedom. Freedom to drink as much alcohol as he wants, and freedom from rising up early in the morning. The poet made us to understand that the persona was unhappy in his job in the last line of this stanza. Today I've long waited for. In the second stanza, the poet tells us that the persona is someone who loves alcohol, but due to the regulations of his job, he had to stop. This is seen in lines 1 and 2 of the second stanza. Many years has he pummelled his busy throat in obedience to duty rules and regulations. In stanza 5, he calls on his friends again to come and marry with him for his long-awaited freedom, and to also rejoice for the reward of his patience with a brand new car. In the last stanza, the poet tells us that the persona drank to stupor in his retirement party, and even as he drove himself home, he was still drinking until he wasn't able to concentrate, and finally he had an accident that claimed his life. This is seen in the last line of the poem, "Home to rest in peace." Now, the next thing we are going to do is to look at the themes in the poem. In your exam, you are going to be expected to write on the themes in this poem. Please, I hope you understood the analysis. If you still have confusions, let me know in the comment section. Now, the first theme we are going to consider is freedom. Freedom. This is the most prominent theme in the poem. The poem practically dwells on the euphoria of freedom. The persona who sees his years of service as years in servitude cannot contain his joy of being free from the restrictions that come with his job as a driver, restrictions from taking alcohol, restrictions from breaking traffic laws, restrictions from being late to work. To celebrate his freedom, he calls on his friends with whom he got drunk. Then he broke the traffic laws he had been restricted from breaking for 35 years. The next thing we are going to consider is the dangers of unbridled joy. The dangers of unbridled joy. In the poem, the government driver is happy for a successful 35 years of working in a government establishment. Unfortunately, he lost his sense of propriety during the celebration. Due to the euphoria of his retirement party, he got himself intoxicated. 3. Caution to the winds. Drove himself in his new gifted car drunk, and as a result could not make good judgment on the road. Hence, he had an accident and died. The next thing we're going to look at is obedience and endurance. Obedience and endurance. The poet in the first and second lines of the second stanza makes us to understand that the person is someone who loves to take alcohol, but in order to obey the regulations of his job, could not take it anytime he chooses. So he had to endure the urge of taking it. Many years has he pummeled his boozy throat. This line tells us that the persona had to discipline himself to endure the urge of taking alcohol, just to obey the regulations of his job. Now, let's look at the poetic devices in the poem. The poetic devices in the poem. The first one we're going to look at is synecdoche. Synecdoche. This is a figure of speech or poetic device in which a part of something is used in representing the whole. A part of something is used in representing the whole, or the whole of something is used in representing the part. This is seen in the first line. Many years on the wheel. Many years on the wheel. Here, the poet used a part of a car, wheel, to represent the car he drove as a civil servant. The poet used a part of a car to represent the whole of a car. He used wheel to represent a car. Now, the next one is alliteration. Alliteration. This is a literary device or poetic device or figure of speech in which words that have the same first consonant sound appear together in a line of the poem. We see this device in lines 2 and 27. In faithful service to his fatherland. Here the words faithful and father have the same sound in their first letters. Faithful, father. And in line 28 there's an alliteration of the b sound. B. He battled with his bottle and boozed. So in this line there's an alliteration of b, b in bottled, and boozed. I hope you got that. Now the next figure of speech or the next poetic device we're going to look at is onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is a figure of speech or poetic device where a word imitates the natural sound of a thing. They refer to words that sound like the action they perform. The use of words like zoom and boom in lines 10 and 31 respectively depicts the speed and state with which the persona used to send himself home. In line 10, I shall boost and zoom myself home, the poet describes the persona's impatience to test what it feels like to speed in a car, in contrast to the conservative way of driving his buses under strict rules for 35 years. In line 31, he boomed his brand new car, illustrates the sound made by the car when the persona got into an accident. So, the two words that are onomatopoeic in this poem are boom and zoom. So that's where we'll end today's lesson. I hope you now understand the poem and you'll be able to answer questions on this poem in your exam. We'll still look at other poems in the future videos. So please stay tuned to this channel. Make sure you subscribe and click on the like button. Also click on the notification bell so you can always get notified each time I upload a new video. See you next time in another video. Bye for now.